And the topic which we are going to discuss is endocrine system. What is endocrine system? Endocrine system is a system of some glands that release hormones or chemicals, and these are the specific messengers that regulate and maintain the activities. Some activities such as growth, such as reproduction, such as reabsorption of water and glucose level in the blood, all these are regulated by hormones or by these chemicals which are released by endocrine glands. Glands are of two types. Glands may be endocrine or may be exocrine. Endocrine are those glands which are ductless, which don't pour their secretions in some ducts or vessels. They directly release their secretions into bloodstream. And exocrine glands which release their secretion into ducts. For example, digestive glands and skin glands. Important endocrine glands are major endocrine glands are pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, pancreas, and gonads. We will discuss all these glands one by one. First of all, pituitary gland, that is the most important gland in our body, that is P-shaped and is present below the hypothalamus in the brain. It consists of two lobes. One is anterior and other is posterior lobe. Anterior lobe that release two hormones. One is somatotropin and other is thyroid stimulating hormone. Somatotropin, what its function? Somatotropin is a growth hormone. It promotes the growth. If it is secreted in a normal way, then the growth will be in normally takes place. But if this hormone is released in excessive than the requirement, then the condition will be gigantism. And if it is less than the required amount, the growth will be not normal and the condition is dwarfism. Similarly, thyroid stimulating hormone that affect the thyroid gland and stimulate the thyroid gland and regulate its function. These two are the secretions of anterior lobe of pituitary gland. Next is posterior lobe. In this lobe, two hormones are released. One is vasopressin and other is oxytocin. Vasopressin that its function is to reabsorb water from nephron, and it regulate and maintain the water level in the body fluids and in the blood. If it is not released properly, there will be frequent urination and the condition will be diabetes insipidus. So the release of the hormone vasopressin is necessary to maintain the water level in the blood. And the other hormone of posterior lobe is oxytocin that stimulate the contraction of uterus wall during the childbirth. Next important gland is thyroid gland. It is the largest endocrine gland and it is present below the neck region. It also releases two hormones. One is thyroxine. That involves in the oxidation of food and energy production. When oxidation of food takes place, breakdown of food takes place, energy will be released and that energy will be used for different activities. If thyroxine is released in large amount, the condition will be hyperthyroidism, and that result in more heartbeat, more shivering, more sweating. And when it is released less than the required amount, the condition will be hypothyroidism, in which heartbeat will be lowered and energy will not be produced in proper amount. Next hormone of thyroid gland is calcitonin. Calcitonin that regulates the calcium level in the blood. Next important gland is parathyroid, that is on the posterior side of the thyroid gland. It has four lobes and it is posterior side of thyroid gland. Its hormone is parathormone. It increases the level of calcium in the blood. As when the calcium level become less than the normal, it extract the calcium from the bones and maintain the level of calcium in the blood. And when it extract the calcium from the bones become weak, and that condition leads to a disease called tetany, in which bones become weak and threaten to become fractured. Next is adrenal gland. These are situated above the kidney. Two parts are there. One is cortex. It is the outer part of adrenal gland, and the hormone released is corticosteroid. And what it is the function of corticosteroid? It maintains the salt and water level in the blood. And the inner part is medulla, and the hormone released by the inner part is epinephrine or adrenaline. It is called epinephrine, or it may be called adrenaline. And what is its function? It prepares the body to overcome the emergency situation. And the hormone epinephrine will be released when the stress condition ends. That hormone will be released to overcome that situation and normalize the body. And most important hormone is pancreas. It performs both function. It also acts as endocrine gland and exocrine gland. How it acts as exocrine gland? It releases its enzymes in our duct in the digestive system that help in digestion. And when it acts as endocrine gland, it's some part, its cells which act as endocrine cells, and these cells are called islets of Langerhans. It secretes two types of hormone. Insulin, it is released when the glucose level rises in the blood. It stimulates the part of liver to release insulin and to decrease the glucose level in the blood. And the other hormone released by pancreas is glucagon. When glucose level become very low, then it stimulates the liver, that part of liver, to release a hormone glucagon that increase the glucose level in the blood to maintain the glucose level. And these gonads, these are male and female reproductive organs. In males these are testes, and females these are ovaries. Testes, they secrete hormone testosterone, and these hormones are released when the person is in the mature age, is enter in mature age, and some secondary characters are developing. Then the hormones are released by these testes, and these hormones, testosterone, that develop some secondary characters such as hairs on the body, coarse voice, and the other gonads, female, in the female these are the ovaries that secrete estrogen or progesterone, and these are responsible in the developing age to develop some female secondary characters such as development of breast. So these are the important endocrine glands in our body. Please try to understand that is very important topic. Try to understand it very well, and if there is some confusion, let me know. Thank you.